Hello everyone, my name is Trevor, I go by TheMrTrails, welcome to the channel. In today's video, we'll be going over the Dauntless 1.6.5 update launching on June 17th. This update will see some incredible features, including the long-awaited return of the exotic equipment, a new island for the hunting grounds, as well as a brand new armor set that will fit in pretty well into the current Dauntless meta. Consider leaving a like if you enjoy, and if you enjoyed Dauntless and are not subscribed already, consider subscribing to the channel. Here I post Dauntless content every week. And just a little life update, I got my first vaccine on Tuesday of this week, and it's possible that may affect some of the content schedule in some way. It's been about 6 hours as I'm recording this audio, and there's just a bit of soreness and a mild headache right now. But if you want to stay up to date with the content, join the Discord server in the description. I will manually make a post whenever I do anything content or giveaway related. So after 6.5 months, the exotic equipment will be obtainable in Dauntless once again. However, they're not just returning to the game, they're coming back better than ever. Previously, each of the exotics in the game came with a pretty major drawback to them in that they didn't come with a perk built into the weapons or armor pieces. And an even bigger issue came into play when the exotics couldn't be bonded to legendary weapons. This made the regular weapons more appealing as they could have their perk economy tailored pretty much however they wanted to. But in 1.6.5, the exotics will be coming back with 2 changes, so that they will now have a built-in perk, as well as each of the weapons will have 1 prismatic slot on them. This 1 prismatic slot is an interesting decision, and it definitely makes the exotics unique in being above the base weapons but not quite above the legendary weapons. A quest line for each of the exotics aside from the Twin Suns will be unlockable through a series of lore nodes that will appear throughout the islands. Let's go through each of the exotics, stating what their perk slots and built-in perk will be, as well as where to obtain the quest for them. The methods of obtaining the Twin Suns didn't change, being able to be purchased from the Platinum Shop or available from Lady Luck through completing normal trials. The Twin Suns will come with Evasive Fury as the built-in perk and getting a Technique slot and the Prismatic slot for its perk economy. With these changes, I think until the regular repeaters get their Prismatic slots, the Twin Suns might actually just be the better repeater. It would depend on the situation, of course. There still wouldn't be access to the Pangar unique effect on the Twin Suns, so the regular repeaters would likely still be better for the trial scene. For the Hunger, you'll be able to get the lore node for the quest in the cave on Twilight Sanctuary. The Hunger will come with Rage Hunter as the built-in perk with the power slot and the prismatic slot. The Skullforge's lore node can be found on Cape Fury, and it will get the built-in perk of Molten onto it. The exotic helmets still don't get prismatic slots though, and it does beg the question, will we ever get prismatic armor pieces? The Godhand Warpike's lore node can be found way behind the Chronovore's arena on the Paradox Breaks, and the weapon will contain Savagery as the built-in perk, accompanied by a power slot and the prismatic slot. For the quest for the Prismatic Grace helmet, you can go to Razor Cliff Isle, and behind a waterfall you'll find a Rezakiri idol. The Prismatic Grace is going to be coming with Medic as its built-in perk. We've saved the best for last, and the 2 absolute winners of the exotic buffs are the Tragic Echo and the Molten Edict. For the Tragic Echo helmet, you can venture onto the top of the mountains in Twilight Sanctuary, and at the very least, before Rage potentially gets changed, the Tragic Echo will be a straight upgrade to the Shroud helmet, as Tragic Echo will now have Rage as the built-in perk. And the Molten Edict, you can find the lore node to unlock the quest on Hades Reach. The Edict will be the first piece of equipment to have the Berserker cell built into it, and for the cell slots, it will have the power slot and the prismatic slot. And Molten Edict specifically is going to be getting a pretty significant damage bonus on the fireballs as well. Captain Maelstrom is saying it's basically an additional 50% bonus to damage whenever a shell is used, including when priming hits, which would make this the best blaze hammer easily. It was already debatable whether or not the Molten Edict was actually the best blaze hammer, but these changes absolutely solidify it. These exotic changes were about as good as we could have hoped for, I guess. A few of them looking like they may break into the meta, at least for a little bit, and the others probably still going to be rather unused. Now, the next topic of discussion is pretty similar in nature to the exotics, but not technically belonging to the exotic family, and that is the Timeweaver armor set, a special armor set that's basically the current meta player's wet dream. You'll find a lore node to the left of the entrance to Chronovore's arena on the Paradox Breaks that will unlock the ability to craft the armor set. It uses a bunch of of epic crafting materials from various behemoths, both to make it as well as to power surge it. The Timeweave helm comes with Predator and a technique slot. The Timeweave robes come with overpower and a power slot. The Timeweave gauntlets come with overpower and a technique slot, and the Timeweave leggings come with catalyst and a power slot, meaning the perk summary of this armor set comes out to 6 overpower, 3 catalyst, and 3 predator. But it's not only that, it's that there are only technique and power cells on this equipment. This is easily the best full set of armor in the game, and it's not even close. We've had a long history of umbral armor pieces, the ones from Shroud and Thrax, being pretty useful in the meta, and now we'll have a very solid armor set of radiant pieces to accompany the Rezakiri chest piece, as well as the kind of situational chronivore legs. Getting the Timeweaver armor set maxed out is absolutely going to be the first thing I do when I boot up the game in 1.6.5. The other main feature of this update is a new island on the hunting grounds. To the right of Slayer's Path Node 7, players can find the new island Conundrum Rocks. Conundrum Rocks will be a threat level 10 to 13 area, and it will be the new home of Valimir. It's basically the Paradox Breaks, but without the Chronovore's arena in the back. You'll be able to find Valimir, Flameborn Gnasher, Firebrand Charog, Moonreaver Shrike, and Ragetail Gnasher. Being that there will be a new area that will guarantee a Valimir, there's going to be some shifting in the guaranteed behemoth spawns. Brightwood will now have Flameborn Quillshot guaranteed, Razorcliff Isle will once again be Rezakiri, and Flameborn Rezakiri will be on Paradox Breaks. I don't 100% understand the whole Rezakiri and Flameborn Rezakiri thing, though I would think it has to deal with Elder and Primal spawns. Rezakiri, being a main questline behemoth, probably shouldn't be a 100% Primal or Elder spawn rate. And there are going to be a couple more significant changes in 1.6.5, one of them being for the meter generation of Ardent Cyclone. The additional amount of meter gained when running energized is going to be reduced by 85%, the devs stating that remaining in an unstaggerable state for 30 seconds at energized +6 was very much against the spirit of the game. I suggested to the developers that since they're going to be nerfing not only the attack speed, but the amount of time that Ardent Cyclone is active for, there would definitely need to be an increase to the base damage in some way to the special. They're currently planning in 1.7.0 to remove the meter gain on the special entirely, but I honestly think that this change to what Energized does for it is already a big enough hit to it. Using the previous Skarn trial as an example, I was in special only twice, and that is certainly a lot of spinning. But this change alone would probably make it so I would have had to enter special 3 or 4 times instead, and probably 4 or 5 times considering the attack speed nerf to it as well. The other pretty significant change is one we probably would have expected 8 months ago or so. They've reduced the amount of ruptured stalks required for crafting Agarus weapons down from 15 to 7. This does make sense to do. This cuts down the ruptured stalk requirement to make all of the weapons from 105 down to 49. Therefore, you've cut down the number of Agarus you have to kill by that much. But again, it's June 2021, and Terra Escalation was released in the fall of 2020. This change could have come much sooner, since this is literally just changing a handful of numbers in a couple of places, but they decided to wait until now. That part doesn't make much sense, but hey, at least they've finally done it. So that will conclude the major changes in the 1.6.5 update for Dauntless. There are some smaller fixes and quality of life changes, such as the ability to change the consumables when readying for a hunt now. If you're curious about some more of those, the patch notes should be available by the time this video goes up, or a little bit after that. But I would like to thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the breakdown, consider leaving a like on the video. And if you enjoyed Dauntless and are not subscribed already, consider subscribing to the channel. I post Dauntless content here every week. I have been Trevor, I go by the Mr. Trails, and I will catch you guys next time.